Our bodies are made up of various parts that seamlessly come together to help us perform day-to-day functions. Some of them, like the heart and lungs, may pull more weight than the others. But for the specific situations for which they're designed, they can outperform even our best machines. Some parts possess awesome, specialized abilities, beyond their day-to-day functions, that most of us don't know about. Here is a list of things our body parts can do. Liver can reprogram itself to regenerate. Our body's ability to heal itself is truly extraordinary and something we take for granted. If it wasn't for that, every minor wound would turn into a life-threatening situation. Our self-healing abilities aren't able to regenerate lost tissue. In cases of tissue damage, the most our bodies can do is patch things up with scars. Of course, that is true only if we exclude the liver from the conversation, which is the sole organ that can fully regenerate itself. Scientists have been impressed by this seemingly isolated ability for a long time, even if they don't quite understand how it evolved. A recent study may suggest the answer. In case of damage, the liver is able to reprogram itself to mimic the earliest stages of childbirth and regrow itself as nothing had happened. Smelling STDs. One of the biggest problems with modern dating culture is the scarily high prevalence of STDs. If you're not careful, a careless one-night stand may leave you with much more than feelings of regret and unfulfillment. Apparently, the human body has built-in mechanisms to detect STDs without having to go through all that. One of them is our sense of smell. One study found that women are capable of smelling gonorrhea just from saliva or armpit samples of men, something that otherwise takes quite a few tests and medical visits to detect. Brain can manipulate time. As Albert Einstein spent his life trying to convince everyone, time is relative. It's only now that we have the tools required to prove that, and the more we experiment, the more we find that he was absolutely right. We now know that our perception of time is intrinsically related to our position in space and is influenced by many other seemingly unrelated factors. According to science, our brain also plays a huge role in how we perceive time and even has the ability to tweak it when required. It's because of the simple concept that our internal clock is different from real time and is controlled by different parts of the brain. Ever notice that time seems to pass a lot faster when you grow old? It's not just in your head. Studies show that our internal clock really slows down with age, which in turn makes everything outside appear to happen faster. The same concept applies when time seems to fly by when we're having fun. Sperm can smell the egg. Reproduction is a fairly simple procedure once you find a partner willing to do it with you. In a nutshell, it's all about introducing sperm to the general vicinity of the egg. Although we know the basics, what exactly happens when sperm make their way to the egg is still not clear. According to science at least, it's due to sperm's innate ability to smell out the egg. Many studies have found that a man's sperm has odor receptors similar to those in the nose, and they're specifically designed to detect a fertile egg just by its scent. Now we don't yet know if the eggs have similar receptors that work in the opposite direction, though scientists think that it's a very real possibility. More research is underway to understand how smell affects the reproductive system. This has applications in many fields of medicine, like contraception. Vagina has the ability to clean itself. Many women think that vaginal discharge is some sort of impurity they need to clean up to keep things hygienic. The market is flush with products that claim to improve vaginal cleanliness, and unsurprisingly, many of them cost a fortune. As men around the world already know, the female vagina is an evolutionary marvel. At the time of puberty, it's colonized by a good kind of bacteria that gradually forms a mini ecosystem of its own. Vaginal discharge is made up of the bacteria, among other things like mucus from the cervix, and it protects against sexually transmitted diseases along with naturally keeping the inner walls clean. That's why if a woman goes to a gynecologist, they almost always tell her to never wash the inside of the vagina. Well, if they're good at their job anyway. That's not to say that women should give up on cleanliness around their private parts, as regular cleaning the outer area is still essential.